My husband doesn't want my affair baby. Instead of seeing it as a bonus, he dumps me. Stay till the end and find out why. This episode is emotionally disturbing to cheaters. I'm 27 and my husband is 29, and we have 3 kids together. One little boy of 5, girl of 16 months, and a baby boy of 4 months. 2 years ago, I had an affair with a guy who was doing work on our house, which resulted in a pregnancy that I wasn't aware of. The affair lasted for about a week, and I thoroughly regret it now. During the entire time, I never stopped loving my husband and was actually more giving to him while it was going on. After being with the other guy several times, I abruptly ended it. I felt I had to after when my son, who I had just put down for a nap, started hysterically crying while I was with this guy. When I heard that, I looked at the guy and thought to myself, my God, what am I doing? I pushed him off me and ended things. Right there. He was dumbfounded and apologetic, and I told him to just get the hell out of my house. When I found out I was pregnant some weeks later, I just assumed the child to be my husband's. As I was only with the other guy on 2 occasions where he didn't wear protection. I know it only takes once, but our meetings occurred during a time of the month where I thought it was 100% safe. We had our daughter, and she's just precious and is a real daddy's girl. Then, a little over 4 months ago, I gave birth to our second son, after which I had my tubes tied because we only wanted the 3 kids. The pregnancy was complicated, and I was put on bed rest during the final 2 months due to preeclampsia. During this time, my husband was amazing, making sure I was well taken care of and doing everything I needed for the health of myself and our baby. Thankfully, everything turned out fine, and our son is now 4 months old and looks and acts just like his daddy. Things seemed to be going fine in our marriage, and I had put the dumb mistake I made 2 years ago completely out of my mind, never even thinking about it anymore. Then, a couple weeks ago on Saturday morning, my husband told me he had something he needed to discuss with me. His mom and dad were there, so they watched the kids while we went into the bedroom for privacy. I knew it was something serious by the look on his face. There, my husband told me, he had all 3 kids DNA tested some months ago. This startled me, as he did this without discussing it with me. Before I could say anything, he said something that stopped me in my tracks. He told me our daughter wasn't his child. He said this calmly and without any build-up, so I didn't know what to say and just looked at him with my mouth wide open. I started breathing heavily and it felt like I was going to faint, so I sat down on the edge of the bed. I tried speaking, but the words just wouldn't come. He told me not to say anything or try to lie because he knows who the real father is. He said I should get in touch with him about supporting his daughter, as he no longer would be once we were divorced. I was completely crushed hearing him say that, and laid back on the bed and just started crying, covering my face. My husband then kneeled down and pulled out a folder from under the dresser and handed it to me. I asked him what it was, and he told me to open it. When I did, I saw it was divorce papers, and I lost my mind. I was crying so hard and was so upset that I couldn't catch my breath. Meanwhile, he was as cool as a cucumber the whole time. Stone cold. I asked how he found out, and he said it was none of my business. All he would tell me is that he has known for some time, but didn't act before, due to my condition. He said now that I'm healed up, and our baby is doing well, he wants out of the marriage. I asked if his parents knew. He said yes, He told them right after he found out. This really upset me as I'm very close to his mom, and she didn't say a word to me about this. Ever since then, I've been in a deep depression. I've begged for forgiveness and have tried everything to get him to reconsider, but he just tells me no, and he's not willing to discuss it. He won't even let me explain my side of the story, and tells me he doesn't care why I did it. He tells me he won't stay married to a cheater, and there's nothing I can do or offer him to change his mind. He just wants a smooth divorce and for us to remain on friendly terms for the sake of our 2 kids. He keeps emphasizing that part, our 2 kids, making it clear he doesn't plan on being a father figure to our daughter. The other day, out of anger, I asked him how he could just give up his daughter like that. Before he had a chance to answer, I caught myself and apologized, telling him I shouldn't have said that. It overwhelmed me, and I told him I was responsible for everything and understood how he felt. But I wanted to keep our family together. He told me I should have thought about that before I spread my legs for another man. He's right about that, but I can't go back and change what I did. God knows I would give anything to have that time back, so I could do things differently. For now, he's still living at the house, but has moved into our son's room and is sleeping on the spare twin bed. I can hear the 2 of them chatting away in there every night, and it just breaks my heart thinking about what I've done. Other than that, nothing has really changed. He's still the happy-go-lucky guy and loving father he's always been. At times, I think we are on the road to healing, only to have him burst my bubble by asking me if I've gotten a lawyer yet. Needless to say, I'm in panic mode right now and will do anything to save my marriage. For now, I'm taking things one day at a time and keeping my fingers crossed that everything will work out.
Since you're married, he can't just walk away from his fatherly responsibilities. In most states, he's considered to be the legal father, whether he wants to be or not. Get a good lawyer and have them pursue this. If he divorces you, you're still entitled to child support, even though the kid isn't his.
My God, listen to yourselves, both of you. Women like you who commit paternity fraud are the absolute worst. You should be charged with a felony and have to pay a huge fine for your actions. The betrayal and audacity is horrifying.
I didn't commit paternity fraud and would never do that. I sincerely thought he was her father. I'm heartbroken over this.
I feel sorry for your husband and daughter here. You caused this and are totally responsible for everything. Don't try blaming your husband. Why don't you go after the guy who knocked you up?
I'm not blaming my husband, and never will. As for the other guy, I don't want him to know, as I don't want him in our lives.
I hope your husband divorces you and goes on to live a happy life. His prospects are bright, even though he'll be paying child support for the next 18 years. Yours, on the other hand, is bleak. You'll be a single mother of 3 with 2 baby daddies who happens to be a cheater. Good luck selling that on Tinder.
Royal A.I.
Things have really gone downhill for me since I first posted. Like I said before, as far as I'm concerned, my husband is the real father of our daughter and the only one she's ever known and loved. He loves her too and has treated her no differently since this all went down. He's been telling me daily to get a lawyer and reach out to the biological father to have him step up and start being a father to our girl. I refuse and keep telling him he is her father and I wouldn't call him. Well, to my surprise, my husband did something I never dreamed he'd do. He called the owner of the business that did the work on our house and told him what was going on. The owner is the father of the guy I had the affair with, and his son still works for him. When the owner found out, he was really angry with his son and very apologetic to my husband. He promised my husband he would make this right and force his son to step up and take financial responsibility for his daughter. He also refunded my husband for all the work they did on our house, which was substantial. Since that time, their lawyer has been calling and leaving me messages about getting DNA testing done, but I haven't returned any of her calls. Then today, I got a certified letter from the attorney asking me to contact her as soon as possible, stating if I didn't respond within 7 days, she would be filing a challenge of paternity claim on behalf of her client. I don't want this strange other man in our lives and wish he would just go away instead of breaking up my family. Is there anything I can do to stop this? I talked to my affair partner's attorney and have an appointment set up for this coming Wednesday to have my daughter DNA tested. I asked the testing company if they could just use the results from the test my husband did, and they said they couldn't. I told my husband about this, and all he told me was, good. He's acting like he doesn't care, but I know he loves our daughter as he holds her and plays with her like nothing has changed. I think he's acting like this out of pride, and because he doesn't want to pay for another man's child? This got me thinking. Would it be possible to work out something where the biological father agrees to pay child support, but then signs away his parental rights to my husband? This way, my husband could be compensated in a way for raising our daughter. I think if we could work out something like this, my husband would be agreeable to keeping things as they are.
Royal A.I.
I've gotten a lot of requests for an update, so I thought I'd come back and give you one. A lot has happened since I last posted, so I'll try to pick things up from where I left off. After getting the DNA results back, the biological father of my middle child petitioned the court for visitation rights, pending a custody hearing. The judge granted supervised visitation, but advised that since my husband was her legal father, custody would be denied, unless my husband signed away his parental rights. I was so happy about this, as I thought there was a chance my husband would reconsider. When I talked to him, he told me that his attorney had already been in touch with the biodad's attorney, and they were already working out an agreement. What? I begged him to change his mind, but he refused. He said he loves my daughter, but told me this was best for her and for everyone involved. I told him I didn't want that man in her life, and he told me I should have thought about that before I let him in and cheated.
Fatality.
I told him I would give him all the child support checks I receive from the biodad, and he could do whatever he wanted with the money. He looked at me and asked if I was serious. I told him, yes, I was. And then he told me I was a sick person. My husband ended up signing away his parental rights, so now the biodad is paying me child support and has 25% custody of my daughter. I'm so upset about this that I can't even function. My husband, on the other hand, acts as if he is relieved by the whole thing. Our final divorce hearing is scheduled for the first week of next month. However, we've already sold our house, and I'm back living with my parents for now. My husband took his proceeds and bought another house just down the street from where we lived. I've agreed to everything he wanted in the divorce, so the hearing is just going to be a formality. I'm hoping between now and then he has a change of heart, but that's looking less likely with each passing day. I thought, since he's no longer financially responsible for my daughter, he'd change his mind. But he hasn't. So in less than a month, I'll be divorced and forever brokenhearted. I've been in a constant state of stress since this all started, and feel like I've aged 20 years. Meanwhile, my husband acts like he's walking on air without a care in the world. I love that man and always will. I miss him so much. I know I'll never find another one like him, so I'm not even going to try. I hope in time I can forgive myself and stop feeling so depressed about life. Thank you for all the support I've received here.
Thanks for watching. OP's husband stayed calm and composed, showing true strength. If you're in doubt, a DNA test might be in order for that much-needed peace of mind. A strong person will never tolerate a cheating partner, regardless of the excuses. Make sure you gather all the evidence and cover your bases before confronting a cheater, just like her husband did. And remember, a strong man's value increases with age, so he can always bounce back, unlike the integrity of someone who cheats.
Don't forget to smack the like button, and if you have a story you're willing to share, email it to contactroyalai@gmail.com. See you in the next one.